Congratulations, online censorship is here, and depending on where you live, it might literally already be law. What am I talking about? Well, it's pretty simple. March has passed, which means that we now know roughly what legislatures across the country, state-level legislatures, are trying to do. What's working, what's not, and what they're moving forward towards. What are they moving forward towards? Oh, very simple. 6 different states have passed some measures of online censorship bills. So, online censorship can mean a lot. A lot of people have some really weird ideas about what it means, but here I'm talking about something quite specific. Online censorship bills within this specific context are a type of bill that typically requires social media companies, and yes, these are pretty much precision designed to attack social media companies. It requires that these social media companies restrict content and require age verification. When do they require age verification? Well, for anybody who's in their state, and this is state by state, they will require that you show some sort of ID or something similar, maybe even a bank account statement, to say, oh yes, I am in fact a legal adult. And if you aren't a legal adult, then guess what? Your account is going to be locked. Now, to talk about the structure a little bit more, basically what these bills do is they say that any company, any website that has more than a certain percentage of content that these states are calling harmful to minors, which is sort of vaguely worded, but what you can basically take from it essentially is anything that would make like a PTA mom blush or sputter in indignation. That's probably roughly what you're talking about. So anything even sort of vaguely racy, and certainly anything queer. Oh dear gods, can't have the queers be talking. Anything like that, if a social media company has more than, say, a third of harmful to minors content, then they will be required to put in place age verification measures. Like I said, so there are plenty of problems with this, but the simplest one on the onset is that these are state-level laws, which means that every state has their own implementation. They have their own rules, and it depends based on physical boundaries, which the internet is infamously not really something that cares about that. What is the definition of harmful to minors? How is this going to be enforced? Who is going to be doing the enforcing? What percentage of content needs to happen in order for these laws to be taken into effect? It really, really depends, and it is going to be messy. Here's a question I want you to take away from this, however. This is messy, it is awful, it is terrible, but what does this actually solve? That a kid might see like, oh, somebody topless, oh, what a horrible situation, what a nightmare, how damaging. Now, I'm not gonna pretend the internet doesn't have problems. The internet has lots of problems. Online harassment, predatory ads, incredibly invasive social media companies that have algorithms that are designed to trap you in an endless haze of customer satisfaction and Herbalife pills. No, those are the problems with the internet. None of these solve them. Most of them don't even pretend to try. No, what they want to do is just make it so that everything is approved, corporate safe. Everything is pretty and nobody does anything racy. All we are going to be talking about, the only thing you are allowed to say is what celebrity is in the news and what product you want to buy. That's the internet that people in power want to make. And this is part of that. This is a very important part of that. So stop them. Right now, it's only a handful of states. You might call me alarmist, but what happens in March, what passes in March, that carries forward. What happens now will tell you what will pass, what is going to be next. And let me tell you, there are dozens of these bills. There are tons of states that want this, not to mention things like COSA. This is what's happening next. They want you to show ID to log into your social media account. And they want to make anything that isn't perfect corporate advertiser safe to be gone. I don't want that internet. I don't think anyone else does either. So